So this is going to be a spontaneous Microlocs Q&A. I'm in the middle of answering my comment section on YouTube, and I realized that so many people ask me questions that I actually always share in my monthly updates, but they are recurrent questions, so I keep answering the same thing all over, and I'm like, maybe I'm not very clear about what I've been doing. And most of the questions has to do with my regimen. How many times do I spray my hair? What do I put into my hair? If I'm using oils, and if yes, which oils, and what is the ratio? What do I mix? And so on. So in this video, I'm going to go through my regimen. This is offhand. I actually never write anything down when I'm doing my videos, but I'm going to try and remain, on the red line and try and give you everything that I feel I should share with you, because my locks are now 31 months. So I uploaded the last video on curls, how I put in foam rollers. So at that time I was 31 months, and it's still in the same week. So I've retightened my hair, but just the front. I had a photo shoot yesterday, so I decided to make the front look a little bit, kept. So I decided to retighten, but in the end it was actually not even necessary because my hair was wrapped up the whole time, so nobody even saw that I'd retightened my hair. But it's for an upcoming project here, for those of you who know, and I made a little photo shoot for that to get a few professional pictures. And so yeah, let me go through my regimen, my current regimen with you, so that you just exactly know what I'm doing. Normally I put a Q&A into my description box so that you know when do I retighten my hair, how many times I wash my hair, and so forth. But I realized that it reduces the communication. So if you have all those answers, sometimes it doesn't urge you to leave a comment. And I do like to interact with you guys. I like answering my comment section. So if everything is already answered, then there's no need to leave a comment, and I don't want that to happen. I like to interact. So I took that out of my description box, and I always made a point to mention that in my monthly updates. But for today, let me just tell you what I've been doing with my hair. So I wash my hair once a week, and actually I'm thinking about trying this water only situation, but because I had this flakes issue in the past, I am a little bit skeptic about that. But I've realized that I've got a lot of sebum, which is the natural oil that your scalp produces, on my scalp, and I sometimes try to massage my hair and then run that through my locks, and I feel that my locks look much more shinier and healthier. So maybe I would wash my hair with soap after 2 weeks, but every week I would just do water only or something. So I'm still trying to figure out things on what to do. But my current regimen is washing my hair once a week. And when my hair was shorter, I definitely oiled my scalp much more often, because somehow I think my hair was short, so it was more exposed to the environment. So my scalp got dry, and then maybe your scalp will start flaking, or my scalp will start flaking. But recently I don't oil my scalp that much. I do that after my hair has air dried, after my hair wash. I just oil my scalp, and I use a mixture of castor oil and vitamin E oil. I have no specific ratio. That's what people ask as well, what's the ratio? I don't have a specific ratio. I just know that castor oil is very thick and vitamin E oil is quite light. So when I mix the two and I see the consistency is nice, then that's what I do. So probably it would be maybe 50-50 or 50-40. So the castor oil is always the one that is a little bit less than the vitamin E oil. And I don't add any essential oils, but you can, if you want, you can add rosemary oil or lavender or whatever makes you whatever fragrance makes it comfortable for you. But I don't put any other fragrance, and the castor oil and the vitamin E oil do not have any fragrance actually. So I just apply that to my scalp and then I just massage. I mix those in an application bottle, but my application bottle is not so good. For whatever reason, it's leaking. So I drop a little into my hands and I put my palm into my hand, I rub it on my fingertips, and then I just go smoothly and I just massage that into my scalp. So that's what I do for oiling. I just leave the rest, which is on my fingers, and I rub that through my hair. But I don't take oil and rub it through my locks. I don't do that. I just make sure the oil for my scalp, the rest or the leftover, I just do this. But I don't oil my locks. So that's what I do with oiling my scalp, and I do that once after washing my hair. Sometimes in the week when I look at my front and I feel like it looks dry, I just go and then I just rub a few at the front. But I always go according to how I feel about my hair. If my hair feels a certain way, then I do that. In my spray bottle, I put in distilled water and rose water. I mix the two because I stopped using tap water because my area we have very hard water, so I would after a while see that I have a lot of residue in my hair and I don't want that to happen. And when I say the water is hard, I hope you know what I mean. Like when you're using like a water heater or something. Let me show you. See, if you heat water in it, after a while you get this residue, and that is the type of tap water we have here, which is very, very hard. So after a while, I have to use apple cider vinegar. I boil that in the water heater to take out all the residue, the lime that is stuck in the water heater. So that's why it's good to do ACV rinse also on the locks, because then it cleans up all the residue from the tap water, which is why I'm using distilled water and rose water, so that my hair will be light and it will avoid this kind of residue in my hair. When it comes to spraying, now I spray my hair maybe twice a week. I don't really spray my hair so often, and even though now I've got a lot of the distilled water is not expensive. You get a whole gallon or 2 to 5 liters for just maybe €1. I live in Germany, so we deal with the euros here, and if I just get that for €1, it lasts me like, I don't know, 3 months. Sometimes I feel because it's distilled water, maybe I should throw it away. But if I use it, nothing still happens. So I can use it for a very, very long time. And then I just add a little bit of the rose water, because rose water compared to distilled water is much more expensive. So you save a lot of money by buying rose water. I used to buy rose water every 2 months, and I get like 500 milliliters. Sometimes when I get there's a promotion running, it's a little bit cheaper, so you get 2 bottles for the same price, but it doesn't always happen. So rose water is one of the most expensive products that I use for my hair. Apart from that, I use regular shampoo. So those are not really costly, like it's not really expensive compared to when I was a loose natural, where you needed so many products to do stuff. But yeah, with locks, that is what I'm using. And another thing that I also do to keep moisture in my hair is how I wash my hair. When I wash my hair with warm water, with lukewarm water, and I'm done and all the soap is out, I use very, very cold water to wash out my hair again completely. So very, very cold water, I run that through my hair, and immediately when that happens, I feel like my locks feel more defined, the cuticles kind of close. So with warm water, my hair is bloated and big and swollen. Not my head, my hair, the locks, they are very big and swollen and bigger. And as soon as I run cold water in, they squeeze, they become very small. So I realized that my cuticles somehow close when I run very cold water through my hair. And so when I dry, after drying my hair, my hair stays moisturized for the entire week. Like, it's really something that I've discovered for myself that I always remember to do. Even if I forget and I start putting oil into my hair and I said, oh, I didn't rinse off with cold water, I still go back and I rinse off with cold water, because that is going to allow my locks to trap the moisture for the longest time. And do I have any issues with smelling locks? Someone asked that as well. I don't, because I allow my locks to dry. I used to wash my hair in the evenings and then I would go to bed and the next morning my locks would be dry. But those were the days when my locks were, maybe when I was 5 months in, 6, 7 months, that was possible. My locks could dry overnight. But now my locks don't dry overnight. They take about a whole day to dry. So I try to wash my hair in the morning so that I can be awake for them to dry. I leave them open. Sometimes I put them into a ponytail, but that doesn't allow it to dry so quick. So when I have the chance and I feel like they don't bother me too much, I'll open them so that they dry. And they sometimes take the whole day to dry. So it's good to let your locks dry. Otherwise, when you sleep with wet locks, for about and the sweat and the heat of your scalp will be getting into the hair. So after some time, your locks can start smelling. And for that not to happen, it's good to always let your locks dry completely. I mean, that's what I do so that my locks do not smell. Because I remember now that my locks were as long as this, I tried sleeping with wet locks a while ago. I think when I was like 22 or 23 months into my lock journey, I did that. And the next morning, they had a slightly sweaty smell, and I didn't like that. So even though it was my own smell, like it wasn't bad, but I realized that it didn't have this freshly washed hair smell. It smelled like when you are out from the gym, that sweat. That's how it smelled, and I didn't like that. So I decided to make sure that my hair is completely dry, and the best way to do that is to wash your hair during the day and allow it to dry across the day. When I was at the beginning of my journey, I didn't used to sleep with a bonnet or a headscarf all the time. Even though I had a bonnet, I even sold one for myself. Now I even sell bonnets, but I didn't used to sleep with a bonnet all the time, and I sleep like this, so on my back. And I realized that the locks at the back were matured very fast. Like, they were not frizzy. The frizziest locks that I had were always at the front. Now they are no more that frizzy. They are now good. I don't know if you can see that. Give you a closer look. So they are no more that frizzy as they used to be. They've actually become very smooth and kind of slightly look mature. What is this in my hair? And but the back was matured very, like, not less, it was less frizzy. Yeah. So the back was I don't know, it was smooth, it didn't have any frizzy, nothing, because I always slept like this. So to me, I felt like when I don't sleep with a bonnet once in a while, it's good for my hair, because the friction between the pillow and my locks kind of molded my locks. So sometimes I would take off the bonnet and just sleep on the pillow, but I have to make sure that it's a satin lined pillow, satin lined, just a satin pillow. And we also have cotton satin. So there's a material, a bedsheet material that is a mixture of satin and cotton. So, and we know cotton dries out your hair, but because of the satin, it's cotton, but it's very smooth. I don't know, maybe you could just Google that and check that out. And we have bed sheets that are like that. And when I sleep on those, yes, my locks feel slightly dry, but at the same time, I feel like my locks have gotten less frizzy. So once in a while, I would do that, but in most cases, I would sleep with a bonnet, because I don't want lint. I don't want any kind of, lint is a different thing from buildup. Buildup comes from product, and lint comes from clothes and whatever. I don't know, your muffler that you put around your neck, or any clothes that come all the way to your neck, or when my locks are touching my clothes, and if it's woolly it will catch the lint. So those are two different things. And I always make sure that now my muffler that I put around my neck, because I live in a cold country, is not something that would make lint go into my locks. So I always make sure I use a good material for that. And apart from that, yeah, washing my hair, oiling my hair, and shampoo that I always use a clarifying shampoo. That is now a must in my regimen. Clarifying shampoo is good because it slightly strips your hair, but it also helps, any form of buildup, especially in the beginning stages, because when you start seeing buildup in your hair, it's already too late. So I just don't want to see build up. I used a tool that I modified myself for a very long time, until maybe somewhere last 2 months. I was still using that tool. It's a modified tool that I did from a wool needle, and I've used it till now, and now I've gotten myself a much more professional tool, which I'm very, very happy with, because this tool works really nice. I did my retightening so fast, and I just retightened the front, so it was just a front to give me this neat look, and I'll do the rest as the days come, because 5 weeks is the best time for me to do my retightening. If I wait till 6 weeks, then I'll probably need an extra hour to finish, because my rotations get longer. Whenever the 5 week mark, it's not too short, the new growth is not too short, and it's not too long, and I remain in the in the hour range that I feel is comfortable for me. People always ask, how long does it take to retighten my hair? And I know a lot of people who have locks don't like answering that question, because people will be like, what? But I use about 6 hours to retighten my hair. 6 hours, yeah. So with the back, I'm very, very fast. I do that blindly, and I try to stay very focused when I'm doing it, so that I don't snatch other sections in, because snatching another section into another lock means that lock is going to be thinner, and this one is going to get the hair from the other side. So it's always good to just clean up your hair properly before you start the interlocking. And then also the little hairs that are there, I always try to wrap it around. I experienced some thinning somewhere at the beginning of the year, but everything is resolved now, so my locks now look as if nothing happened. It's actually amazing. It looks like nothing happened, but I used to have a few thinning locks, and then I had to resolve that issue. I made a little bit more, I was a little bit more consistent with my scalp massage and my castor oil, vitamin E oil thing. And then I was very cautious of how I retightened my hair. Plus, I still had to rejoin a few locks. I think somewhere here, I joined some locks. And in one of my videos, I cut off the second lock, like the two-headed dragon. I just cut it off. I still found one at the back somewhere, which I'll be cutting as well. But yeah, apart from that, this is what I've been doing. If I remember anything else, there's something in my mouth. If I remember anything else, I will let you know. Maybe I should continue. I got it. Maybe I should be doing Microlocs Q&As much more often, just to keep you updated, or maybe just to share what somebody is sharing or asking in the comment section. I think that could be very, very helpful, so that we could all grow on this journey, because this is a journey of adventure. I really don't know anyone who has Microlocs where I live, so I'm the only one who is doing stuff. And if I want to find answers or do some research, I go online and I do my research. So it's always good to share, which is why I like you guys to leave me comments in the comment section. So if you have any questions, put them into the comment sections. I always get back. And if not, I would mention it in my videos, so that we can all help each other. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this spontaneous video. It's really spontaneous, there's no plan, and I think I've been all over the place, and maybe I started a sentence and I didn't end it. If that happened, I'm sorry about that. but I hope to get better at this. But I like to be a little bit more spontaneous. Do you remember I did a 10-day challenge where I'll just grab my camera and just start talking? I want to be more spontaneous when it comes to stuff like this, but I don't also want to waste your time, so that's why I like to come straight to the point. Anyway, this is the end of this Microlocs Q&A. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, give this video a thumbs up, leave me a comment, tell me what you are facing in your lock journey right now. Are you in it? Are you thinking about it? And if you have any issues, drop them below and I will get back to you. And yeah, definitely subscribe if you haven't already. Click the notification bell. I would upload more frequent videos like this and spontaneous videos. And yeah, I hope to see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.